So this gets us to, what is DeFi? I said at the beginning, I'm going to answer what is DeFi. What is decentralized finance? But I had to give all this context because, again, this is all these concepts, blockchain, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, DeFi, they're all kind of vague to most people. They don't make sense because they're hard, because frankly, you can't see them. It's not like this phone. You can see this phone, right? You can't see a blockchain ledger unless you're a computer coder or developer. You can't see a blockchain ledger noting every single transaction and encrypting it. And it's kind of hard to see in your mind, at least for me. So what is decentralized finance? And again, that's why I had to explain what all this stuff was to get to this. So what is decentralized finance? Decentralized finance is essentially parts of all of these things, except for not necessarily the meme stocks, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and blockchain. It's parts of all these things. DeFi is the overall kind of idea of decentralized finance. Again, what is that? That's taking the idea of taking more control away from governments, Federal Reserves, banks, big banks specifically, and putting it in the hands of all of us. How does that look like? An example of decentralized finance is paying. I don't have an Apple, but so I have Google Pay, paying with my phone, touchless, going to a touchless thing and paying with my phone. Using your Apple to go to a touchless cash machine, hitting it and paying. That's an example of decentralized finance. Decentralized finance is going to put more power in all of our, the idea is to put more power in all of our hands, meaning quote unquote normal people, not governments, not banks, not any of that kind of stuff. So getting back to DeFi, what DeFi is all around us. It's the early example of DeFi was Square when it first came out with the plugin you put in your phone and you swipe a card. That's an early example of DeFi. What the future examples of that are still kind of to be determined. But as long as it puts more control in our hands, that will be better. Because again, in my opinion, governments have not done a great job of this. I don't think I explained that well enough, and I'm sorry. But again, these concepts are kind of vague. I'm actually going to go to a definition. Decentralized finance. So I actually explained it pretty good. Because the definitions I'm seeing over here are exactly the same thing. So let me go to other examples of finance. E-wallets, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, which we're going to talk about here shortly. Those are examples of decentralized finance. So again, taking things out of people's hands or government's hands, Federal Reserve's hands, putting them more in our hands, letting us take more control. And this, again, is all tracked on the blockchain. It's all tracked worldwide. And this, again, yes. So the big banks, you're probably worried about the big banks, Visa, MasterCard, American Express. They're not necessarily banks, quote unquote, although American Express to a degree is because they have a holding company. They're a bank holding company now. But they will end up controlling a huge part of this. That's not good or bad. That's just what's happening based on what I'm seeing. So that means every time you use your Visa card, whether it's a crypto-backed card, which there are those now for I think all these companies, definitely for MasterCard and Visa, I know there are. You can use your crypto-backed Visa card to pay for something at your local retailer, and that transaction will be locked, or that transaction will be tracked on the blockchain. So to prevent fraud and create efficiencies and more productivity and blah, 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 all the stuff we talked about earlier. So again, if you have any questions before we get to NFTs, let me know. But this decentralized finance is going to transform our world. It will transform, in my opinion, everything from defense, agriculture, banking, contracts, pretty much any contracts. how we buy and sell things, it's going to change our world enormously, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing. Especially since with the promise of 5G, we're going to be able to be online all the time.